Hi guys, I'm back. I wanted to really make a video talking about like my favorite cornsnake morph and whatnot, because I do have a favorite, and nearly every single one of my cornsnakes has that morph, and you've all seen them in the videos. It's the Tesseras. I love Tesseras, and I really need to show you the differences between a Tessera and a normal. And so this is a normal pattern for a cornsnake. It has saddles, it has blotches for side pattern, and that is normal. This is the normal cornsnake pattern. This is Zarastraza. She is my het palmetto, strawberry possible het palmetto cornsnake, and she is very lightly colored. And she's actually going to be going into shed soon, so that's why her colors are a little dull and a little more brown, a little more light brown than usual, and whatnot. So she is a beautiful snake, and I like her. I like her, but she ain't no Tessera. She ain't no Tessera, and you know what? That is important to me. I like Tesseras and whatnot. So I don't want to put her up yet. So let's talk about Tessera, and I'll do some pictures on a slideshow. So Tessera comes in a few different side patterns that you'll see. Sometimes you'll just get vertical stripes down the side of the snake. I believe that Acridostras has some vertical striping, as well as Lomi has vertical striping going down the side of the snake. And then you also have lateral striping that's below the Tessera stripe sometimes. And Saphiron has that striping, and Koidomi has a little lateral striping too. It's a little bit more. I think that lateral stripe also is amplified when you mix in the stripe gene, which is a recessive gene. But you mix in the two necessary homozygous. Yeah, the necessary homozygous stripes, and you'll get additional strong stripes down the side of your Tessera, additionally to the strong Tessera striping. So that's really cool. What else do we have? You have what I call like a static pattern on the side of the snake, and you see that with Alexstrasza. And the static pattern isn't super common, but you do get the static pattern on the side of the snake as well. I'm gonna have to cut the video here and pick it back up in just a moment, because I need to make sure that Zarastraza gets the time out of her enclosure that she really needs, and whatnot, before I put her back up, and I'm ready to transition to the next part of the video where I get out one of my Tesseras, and you can really see the difference. And I can just fanboy over Tessera or whatnot. And we're recording again, so now I'm going to get out Koidomi, and she is a amelanistic Tessera, but she does have a selective breeding to be classified as an extreme Okati, but in case of amelanistic, we call it a extreme reverse Okati. So let me go ahead and get her out for you. She is a beautiful snake, by my opinion. And even though she's just amelanistic, she does have a lot of beauty to her. So let me go ahead and get her out. Hey, Koidomi. How you doing? Oh, let me pick you up. My snakes don't struggle away from me too much when I pick them up. It's just more of a case of, like, sometimes they'll pancake down a little bit, and it's like, I can't pick you up. But no, she's good. She's good. Let me go ahead and get the lid back on and get the enclosure back up off my chair. You know, I'm not using the chair. I just don't have to leave it on the chair. So Koridomi is a beautiful, extremely versed Ogre, and she's actually going into shed soon. She's in blue, so I don't know if you can see this, but her eyes are blued up. So she is all clapped up, so we call that blue. And when she goes into shed, she gets very light, and so her reds turn into a pink, which is really cool. And that's just that coloration really comes more from the Okati. So I love her colors and whatnot. So she is an extremely versed Okati Tessera, and as you see, she does have that lateral striping just below that. So on Tesseras, you have a couple of color regions. You have the back stripe, which you see is orange, and then a little bit of a more lightly colored white-ish right next to that orange. And that color, those two color regions are present on almost all Tesseras. Then you see the nice white big area. That should be black, but she's amelanistic, so that is white. Then, so that's a border in between the two, and so because she's Okati, that's a very thick border, so it's very easy to see. Then you have this next color region, which is usually a brownish red on most Tesseras. And that is just that natural saddle color that you see on most corn snakes. And then you have another band of whites just below that, which is not present on all Tesseras, but it is attributed to having strong saddle borders, which you will see on the Okati. But she's also a Tessera, therefore the Okati in the Tessera. The Okati gives the Tessera a strong saddle there. Then below that, you can generally see on Koridomi, below that you can see a yellowish orange stripe that goes down the side of the snake. Not all Tesseras have that, and so that is just a stripe. That's just a trait with Tessera that pops up sometimes. And then when you look at her even more, you will see that she has another stripe beneath that, which is that orangish red that you would normally expect to see on a regular Tessera, that you see on a regular corn snake. So she has quite a few stripes, as well as just the whites that you see on a lot of Okatis. So she'll be considered a high white Okati, and as you see to the end, that red. The white kind of overpowers everything else, because Okati has a lot of black and a lot more white than usual corn snakes have. So that is very well represented in Koridomi here. So that's just an example of what you will see with some of the Tesseras. Just a lot of striping, and that's just a trait. It's not genetic or anything. Yes, it's hereditary. I'm pretty sure you can pass it down. But she is a beautiful, extremely versed Okati, and she's absolutely docile, like most of my corn snakes. You have Alexstrasza, and should I get Alexstrasza out? She's on the bottom. I have to really dig her out. Yeah, I think I should get Alexstrasza out for y'all. You can see how beautiful how much of a difference Alexstrasza has. She has that kind of that static pattern that you'll love to see. Well, let me go ahead and once again pause the recording, and so I can get Koridomi her time out of the enclosure, and she can, once again stay docile and be handled regularly. Alright guys, and this is Alexstrasza. She is a diffused Tessera corn snake, and her diffusion has not fully come in yet. She is a beautiful corn snake, and she has that she has pretty strong saddle bottles that you don't typically see on a lot of corn snakes. If you look closely, she has a black line that's in between her Tessera stripes and her side pattern. And that's not super common on a lot of corn snakes, a lot of Tessera corn snakes, but it is common enough. She also doesn't have any of the pinstripes that you sometimes see on a lot of Tessera corn snakes. Generally, about right in this section, behind the head, you see them the most. She is also my least tame corn snake, so she's primed to just bolting out away from me, and she's a bit jumpy when I touch her in ways she's not expecting. So like back here, she'll twitch when I touch her. But otherwise, she is really tame. Not very tame by corn snake standards, but she's pretty tame. She tail buzzes occasionally if there's something that she doesn't like. But she's been pretty good recently. So as I was talking about the patterns that you see, her pattern is really just kind of like TV static, if you know what TV static looks like and whatnot. So she has that static background too, static side pattern to her, which is not very typical for Tessera corn snakes also. As you see, she's a bit more flighty than the others, and she's actually trying to slip away from me right now. But she is a beautiful Tessera corn snake, and she was my first corn snake. She's about 11 months old now, and she is probably my favorite corn snake to handle, just because she does require so much more attention. As you can see, I'm looking more at her than I'm looking at the camera right now. And but she is definitely fun to handle. She's on small hopper mice right now, but she is definitely doing well. And so this is just another side pattern that you can expect to see on a Tessera corn snake. I didn't show you the pinstriping that's on. Actually, I could get Sapphire on out and show you the pinstriping that I was talking about. That's generally in see this reddish brown part of our Tessera pattern. That's generally where you see the Tessera striping, and they go down a large portion of the Tessera corn snakes, and they start up here and they just go down majority of the snake and whatnot. So something else I wanted to show you that is also notable on Tessera corn snakes is the variety of belly patterns on them. So, for example, if you look at Alexstrasza here, she has this red pattern, which is typical of diffused corn snakes, where you have that red splotching, which is very typical of diffused corn snakes. And when I first got her, she was a lot less of the red patchiness on the side. The red patches were more isolated, more contained, and so she showed a lot more white back then and whatnot. But as you can see, she doesn't have that typical corn snake belly that you're used to seeing, where this kind of clustered up. That looks kind of like corn kernels on the cob. That's where corn snakes get their name. Versus Tessera gets its name from the tessellation pattern on the side of the snake. As you see, she doesn't really have the tessellations. She just has, static, which is really kind of unique and whatnot. So that's Alexstrasza, and that's her belly pattern. Once again, you can see it, her belly pattern. And we can show you, I should have showed you the belly pattern on Akita straws and the belly pattern on, oh, did I spook you? I spooked you a little bit. I should have showed the belly pattern, showed you all the belly pattern on Zeristraza, but I can show you that in pictures and whatnot, because these traits, the striping on the side, the tessellation patterning, are really just kind of independent from each other. They don't seem to have any correlation, and not many people have really gone into studying this pattern so much with the breeders. But I do plan on, you know, tracking just how hereditary the side patterns are on the Tessera Cornsnakes. I know it definitely falls under like a multi-gene traits and not necessarily a morph, but it's something to be aware of and something worth tracking, in my opinion. So, just to recap, Tessera is my favorite pattern, and though all my snakes have pretty strong back patterns to them, back striping to them, some Tesseras have really messy back stripes and whatnot, and I think those are really cool too. I might be able to pull, I think I'm going to insert a picture of someone else's snake. I have to get pictures already been posted, or ask someone for a picture that I could use of just a really messy Tessera stripe on a Tessera Cornsnake. Anyway, yes, it's a bit of a thunderstorm today, and sound quality hasn't been the best, but I just really wanted to show you just what you can expect from Tessera Cornsnake. And yes, you can mix Tessera in with other patterns, with other pattern morphs. For example, the motley really cleans up the side pattern of this other snake, as well as the striped really thickens the side stripes on the Tessera and cleans up the side pattern as well. Stripe diffused, if the selective breeding is right, diffused can really clean up the side pattern a lot. And as you can see, as Alexstrasza is aging, whole side pattern is getting covered up more and more by the red splotching. So she'll get it, but it does appear that her back stripe is going to remain completely intact and whatnot. So I talked about motley. I don't. No one really has mixed Tessera. I think that's how it's pronounced, with Tessera. Tessera kind of starts off with striping in the front and just kind of diffuses out towards the back, as you would expect with a diffused cornsnake. It's not really one of the morphs I really care about, but it's a morph. So that's about what you can expect to see with the pattern mutations on the Tessera Cornsnake. As for colors, the colors all play in very expected ways when you start looking at the Tessera pattern. All colors you see on a normal type cornsnake are present in a normal Tessera cornsnake. So yeah, she doesn't have any of the selective breeding to reduce the saddle bottles that you see on some cornsnakes. So she does have the thicker saddle bottles, which is absolutely beautiful on her. Yes, you are beautiful, Alexstrasza. Even though you are not very tame and you're jumpy and sometimes you try striking at me, but I know you're just bluffing. But she is what she is. Well, thanks for watching. Definitely like and subscribe. And I hope you enjoyed this video and really could get some appreciation for the Tessera morph. Well, I should have added at some point that Tessera is the dominant morph. Therefore, if you're breeding a Tessera to a normal type corn snake, you will get 50% Tesseras at least. Or if your Tessera came from both of your Tessera's parents were also Tesseras, there is a possibility that all those hatchlings will be Tessera corn snakes. Anyway, guys, thank you. Definitely like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.